Have you ever wondered about the locations you've come to pass? The origin, the history, the stories that remain untold. This is what we search for. Through experiences we can share in this journey. We look into historical sites, folklore, local myths, and the paranormal. With this, we will film many documentaries. This is Project Origin.
I just really like this cute little town.
There we go. So this is Project Origin. We're at the Malvern Manor. We actually have the owner of the place here, Josh. We would actually like to ask you a couple questions. Thank you so much for interviewing with us.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Yeah, if you could just do like a small introduction and tell us about how you came about the place and, you know, what is Malvern Manor to you?
Cool. Yeah, so my name is Josh Hurd. I am author and lecturer, documentary filmmaker, and I guess, yeah, now co-owner of this monstrosity of a building. But how I came across this place is pretty interesting. We were actually filming my first documentary film, and we're actually across the street at what's called the Classic Cafe, and I didn't realize that there's a bar attached to the Classic Cafe, and so with noise contamination and all that, we just couldn't investigate at all. But I went outside, and because I was kind of angry and, you know, kicking rocks and all that fun stuff, but I met a gentleman who said he owned this haunted place, or the way he described it was a weird building and some unexplainable things were going on. And then he told me the history of the place, and he's like, you know, it used to be a hotel, and then it switched and became like a nursing home, and then became more of a group home for mentally handicapped people. And he's like, yeah, the place is like 10,000 square feet, you know, and it's like, all of this is sounding too good to be true. And so I was like, where is this place? He's like, oh, dude, it's just right across the street. And, you know, from that point on, I was like, my gosh, like, he was nice enough to let us in that night. And we had experienced more in the first 2 hours of being here than we had in the last 2 years of doing this. And so it was pretty significant to come across something like that. And so, I mean, I was hooked from that point on. You know, as fate would have it or whatever, he got a job offer that was out of town, and he had to move, and he was selling his house, he was selling this place, and I was lucky enough to then, you know, get together with some like-minded individuals and keep it open, you know, to the public. So, but yeah, I mean, this has become kind of, I guess, my full-time job, I guess, if that's what you want to call it. I don't really necessarily consider this work. You know, I enjoy coming here and talking about the different happenings and talking with different groups that may or may not have experienced something, you know, and comparing notes and things like that. I really want to see if we can, you know, correlate evidence and activity and all of this stuff, and really do our best to kind of put this crossword puzzle together. So, but that's kind of what this place is to me, you know, now anyway.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, and thank you for that. I know that you know, we're really excited to be here tonight and do our own investigation here and get the experience. Would you mind sharing, you know, what your most outworldly experience that you had here?
So one of the most interesting things was, you know, like the documentary that I was putting together that night, it was a 3-week long shoot, and this was night 1, you know, so I really wanted to start conditioning my guys without them even knowing what was about to happen 3 weeks down the road. But I wanted to start separating them and isolating them specifically. So I put my brother in the basement of this place for an hour by himself. him sitting in a chair, camera rolling, that was it, nothing else. And we were getting coughs, like very odd like coughs, and it was definitely female, and it was doing it on command, which was something fairly interesting, right? That was one of the more significant things that happened. Now, one of the biggest things that's ever happened to me personally then is like one day this place was open for business at that time, and I was walking down to the nursing home wing where everybody experiences this shadow man, right? So I'm walking down there, and I have a vacuum cleaner in hand. I was minding my own dang business and doing nothing. But I turned the corner to go down towards that room 1 and 2 down there, and as soon as I had turned, I had seen this thing coming directly at me. And I mean, I dropped that vacuum cleaner and I ran out that door faster than anybody's ever going to see me run, probably. Like, it was very significant, you know? Now, it's since happened to me a few more times, like, since then. The last time it happened to me, you know, I'm interested especially in, like, the idea of a residual haunt. So I want to see what happens when we stand our ground, we don't flinch, or we don't run, or we don't whatever, and don't react in any way. So I stood back there for 3 solid hours, practically begging for this to happen, and it finally did. And I didn't run this time, but I definitely still flinched. So now I'm kicking myself in the butt because I know I have to go back there and do it again whenever I get the guts enough to do it. So, yeah. But yeah, I mean, definitely with that guy, that's one of the more significant things. Like, there's a few times I always walk in and I come in through the back door, and I no more than get to the threshold of this room, and I've heard things upstairs. I've heard my name being called. You know, I've heard what sounds like a person jumping up and down, like very blatant, throwing their legs into the ground with force. And in tandem with the jumps, you're hearing like, no, 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 no. Like, very odd. So, I mean, it almost makes you think there's somebody physically here, which is equally as alarming, you know? So, but it's things like that that go on throughout the day and night.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing those experiences. I know, maybe, who knows, maybe we'll experience something similar tonight.
I hope so. I absolutely hope so.
We'll see if I flinch or run the opposite way. We'll have to run out the hard way, probably. Yeah, and the other part I just wanted to say, we also pay our respects to, everyone who gets an older building and keeps it going, and, it's remarkable for us to always partake in that. Because we like to go to different locations that are more historic. It's been built some time ago, and just see that it's still there and still standing. So.
It's definitely a labor of love, I will say that. You know what I mean? But it takes a lot to keep a building like this up and going, and we're always trying to make little improvements here or there without actually messing with the integrity of the place. Like, I want to keep the guts, how they are and how we found them. That's important to me. But we want people to be comfortable too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Especially on a cold night like it is this evening. So.
Okay. Well, yeah. Once again, I want to thank you, and if anyone is in the area, anyone has ever heard of Malvern Manor, you should really check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Reach out, talk
Absolutely.
to Josh, check out this area. It's just we got to tour earlier. It was really interesting. It's fascinating. A lot of different stories.
Yeah.
And not to mention, you have brought. You brought a lot of people in who used to work here. You brought in a lot of different resources where you could actually draw from actual events.
And that was super important to me too, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that stuff. I'm a history freak anyway, but then when you can walk and talk with the people that were actually here when everything was up and running, like that's something else. It's pretty significant. So
brings you back in time temporarily.
Exactly.
Yep.
That's good.
So just thank you once again. I appreciate you doing the interview with us today, and hopefully we can gather some of our own evidence and show it to you, show it to everyone else, and
yeah. Not anytime. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
We finally arrived at Malvern Manor. Malvern Manor is located in the small town of Malvern, Iowa. The town has a unique charm that is literally out in the middle of nowhere. You can see some of the history that still stands within this town. Back when Malvern Manor operated as a hotel in the 1800s, many would stay there who were working and riding through the town on a railroad. Through time, Malvern Manor also operated as a nursing home, and it eventually turned into a group home that housed the mentally handicapped. Malvern Manor eventually shut down due to neglect and abuse on the residents. There has also been reports of past deaths on the property. Project Origin is here tonight to do an investigation, to investigate the claims and experiences that others have had. So please stay tuned. So here we are. This is Project Origin going live. We're at the Malvern Manor, and we're currently in one of the longer hallways. Walking down right now. This room right here is actually, it's called Gracie's room. It's someone who used to be here. She actually has an original pair of glasses too in this room that belonged to her. So we'll probably be doing an EVP session in there eventually. Right now I'm just doing like a walkthrough as we investigate, and we'll probably do some EVP sessions along the way. So we're walking over here at the moment. This is sort of where the nurses station is. I'm not gonna go too far up because they actually have some full people's names there that were there when they were admitted here. So as you can see down this hallway, this is actually the hallway where a lot of the shadow figures are seen. They say a shadow figure as tall as like 6'7", runs out of room 2, which is straight down to your far right. Comes right down out of the room and it runs straight toward you, like it's charging at you almost. So that's something that happens frequently. We don't know if it's a residual haunting or not, but we're hoping to catch something similar to that tonight. So go over here, and this part of the hallway over here, there wasn't really too many reports of any activity, but that's something that we still like to just to cover during our investigation here. There we go. And we're actually probably going to head upstairs soon as well. Do we want to do any EVP sessions down here at the moment, or should we head upstairs first?
I think we should go upstairs first.
Yeah,
I'm not
I think that's probably a good idea. So I can head up there first here. So we're going to go down the hallway again here. Since I have a low network connection, so don't know how well it is for everyone viewing at the moment.
Introduce him to the creepy doll.
Yeah, as you can see right there, someone brought this doll in. They said they got it at a garage sale. But apparently there's been reports of this doll actually moving on its own. And of course, as you can see, the eyes move on their own. It's one of those creepy dolls with the eyes that move. So if we, notice a doll all of a sudden on, the other end of the, the manor here, and we see it and we didn't move it, that's gonna be a little bit freaky. We're just gonna have to kick the doll like a football and see how far it flies. But anyways, here is lobby room, group room, the parlor room. It has a couple different names to it. Here we were actually doing an EVP session earlier and we had caught a whistle.
Anybody in here with us? Is Captain Color here with us? Is there any place specific in this building that we should be looking to make contact with someone?
So, around like that. But yeah, I think we're gonna make our way upstairs. And there's that doll again. That's like she's waving at us. Hi. How's it going? Is Della her name?
Yes, that's her name.
As you can see, the staircase here, this goes straight up. Sort of like a little spiral up there in the very beginning, or very end, I should say. As we go up here, there's been some different reports up here as well. A little bouncy there. Thank you. So, as you can see straight ahead there, I'm gonna go this way and that way. But I do want to focus over here first.
So up here, the air actually feels a lot different. It's very heavy. You were actually just up here,
Yeah,
and it feels a lot heavier now.
it does feel heavier now.
Super heavy.
This is where you got that.
I'm losing my breath almost.
Yeah, I feel that too.
How you feel like you're...
I feel like it's like hard to breathe a little bit, like almost asthmatic feeling.
I was feeling
Yeah. So one thing that we're trying to look into up here is, if you can see on the wall a little bit, don't know if anyone can see that. That's actually where the old blood.
And it was tested.
Yeah, Josh,
for
the
human
owner,
blood.
had an actual investigator come out here and get the blood tested. It did test positive for human blood. I don't know when, this incident occurred. But right now we feel like a really heavy pressure on our chest. As you can see right there, those are finger marks. When I don't know if there was a struggle, when they had touched the wall and they kept moving.
Oh. It's happening again.
Is there that stabbing pain again in your...
Yeah. Earlier today
Your
when we
back.
were up here, I had a stabbing pain on my left side all the way through from front to back, and it's happening again. It's almost like I'm being like grabbed really hard through here, and it's like a stabbing, poking pain. And it happened right here, and it happened back over there earlier today, and it's happening again. So that's fun.
Yeah, and we think that has some type of relation to
To the blood.
the person who had struggled here with this.
Yeah, I definitely feel a female presence as the victim.
As you can see, it sort of goes along the wall here. There's another part right there.
It's worse. It's way worse over here.
Yeah.
The pain is way worse here.
It's almost like I started down there and ran this way.
Like this is kind of where like she kind of hit the wall, kind of a feeling.
Right there.
Ow.
Yeah. Here's another part right there, as you can see. All that is, unfortunately, it is blood and it's really old. Like I said, it was tested and proven positive for that.
I have a reaction on the rods. I'm going to back up from the camera just a little bit so we know that that's not messing with it. There is some dust floating around up here too, so if you see weird things, that's probably what it is. Is there anybody up here with us? If there is, could you cross the rods? All right, thank you very much. Can you straighten them back out again? Straighten them back out. Almost, we're getting there. Thank you very much. Is the person who's here with me, if you're a female, can you give it an X? Cross the rods again, if you're a female. Thank you very much. Can you straighten it back out? A little bit more, just so we know for sure. A little bit more. Thank you. I know it's hard, but I appreciate you helping. Is the female that's here, is it the person whose blood is on the wall? If the answer is yes, can you make the sticks reach towards each other? No? If it's another female, somebody who lived here, can you make the sticks go towards each other? There we go. Thank you. Thank you very much. Do you have things you want to say? Should we do a recording so you can talk to us? If yes, can you make the sticks go towards each other again? If you'd like us to move along, can you make the sticks go towards each other? If you want us to stay, can you make the sticks go towards each other? I'm not feeling anything else anymore. I'm not getting any more action.
Yeah, after the first couple
Yeah.
answers, it sort of
Blanked
everything
out on
dispersed a
us.
little bit.
I thought I heard footsteps during that.
You know where they came
That way.
from? Over here? You can take a look over here. There we go. Hi Heather, I see that you just said hello. And hi Ashley. I just saw that from everybody.
The door that's all covered in blood.
Yeah. I think maybe we can go down a little bit further this way, huh?
Yeah. Because there was some stuff back there.
So we're going further over here on this side of the wing, which is more toward the right. And if I wasn't mistaken, this room belonged to, it was the gentleman downstairs, his picture.
No, I think that's the other end.
Or is it the other end?
It's the other end
Yeah,
up here.
okay.
Yeah,
This
I
wasn't
don't know whose room this is. If we go down the
Yeah.
other end, we'll get to the cranky guy.
We should have paid attention to the numbers.
I know.
Yeah, I don't think that was.
There we go. We'll keep walking down this way. This right here is Susie's room. There's been a lot of other teams here that has come and has drawn some nice pictures, colored, and try to do some interactions. That's definitely something that we'll be doing tonight as well. To try to make communication with Susie. Excuse me. There we go. We're going back here. And here we are in this room.
This is what they call Inez's room.
Yes, Ionessus. Yeah. And this doll right here is actually a doll that was her favorite doll that she had played with, or they had said she had played with frequently. If no one knows the story behind that, she had suffered getting hung by a jump rope and had died that way. We were told that it did not happen in this room. That actually happened just right up the road here. Probably no more than maybe a block or two.
Right, that's what he said.
Over in this side building by the Malvern Manor, and another house. But it's said and rumored that she still comes back here and hangs out here and communicates and yeah, this is her room. As you can see, there's some different things that are left around to sort of add to this room and add to if there's anything that she'd like to play with. Yeah, and also, let me know too when you would like to start up an EVP session somewhere. Otherwise, maybe we could go to the other side.
Yeah. I think
Okay.
that would be a good place.
When we initially came up here, the air was really thick. It was like gravity was pushing you down. 1 second. Thought I heard some footsteps. Let's see. So sometimes we will stop, and if we hear like footsteps or something in that mix, we will definitely try to pursue and see what that was.
Let's tap these though.
Yep, this way is the other side. We'll just sort of start off by walking around up here, show you around a little bit. This is the bathroom. This is where bathtubs were. So as we also, when we interviewed Josh, you know, we had known that this place had been a hotel, used as a hotel back when, you know, the railroad, was coming through here. People would stay here. It was a place where everybody would go to in a town in Malvern when they would get off the railroad and off the train to stay. But it would also eventually turn into a place where, yeah, it would turn into a place where it was more of a nursing home for older individuals, and they'd stay here. It was for some time too that was around. And when that happened, eventually this would turn into a group home. And it had everyone from, you know, it could be the mentally ill, it could be a mixture of different addictions for drugs. There's a large combination of different things that had happened here. And it was up until the most recent, which is many years ago, that this place had actually closed down from the owner because there's a lot of neglect and abuse that had happened here around that. And he's actually currently in jail and still alive. There we go. Will we do an EVP session?
I think this is a good spot because we're
Okay.
between Hank's room and the captain's room.
Yeah,
Should we do something?
sure.
All right. Okay, hitting record. I don't see anything I can sit it on. Should we go in here so I can set it down?
Sure.
Oops, sorry. So I'm hitting record. What time is it, Justin?
It is currently.
Oh, here. I can check.
Don't currently have my watch on.
Sorry, Ann. All right, it's 8:57.
57. All
All
right.
right, hitting record. Justin, Tiffany, and Leanne on the second floor of Malvern Manor at 8:57 on November 12th. I'm setting the recorder down now. Is anybody in the room with us right now? I understand there's a man named Henry or Hank that's in here. Are you in here with us? Go ahead.
Which name do you prefer today? Henry or Hank?
I was gonna say, I was wondering if I could actually borrow some of your clothes. I know you usually keep them in here. Is this a drawer right here? Do you think I could borrow one of your shirts? Is that okay?
Josh said sometimes when the girls wear them, get a little bit of action.
Yeah, it's okay if we borrow some of these. Can we take this one right here?
It's awfully cold up here, Henry or Hank. Who wouldn't mind having one of these to wear right now?
It looks really warm.
Oh, it is really warm actually. Will you hold this? Thanks. All right. Thank you for helping me. Is it okay that I have this? Feel a little heavy right now. All right, I'm feeling a little bit better. I'm gonna go ahead and fold this up real nice and put it back in your drawer for you. Just in case you want it. Like I said, it's chilly in here tonight.
Yeah, we can stop.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and stop this. Gonna do a listen back right away or no?
Yeah, we can do a listen back. We're gonna do an EVP listen back and see if there's anything that was caught. Don't know how well we can hear it on your end, but we'll give it a try.
Justin, Tiffany, and Leanne on the second floor of Malvern Manor at 8:57 on November 12th. I'm setting the recorder down now. Is anybody in the room with us right now? I understand there's a man named Henry or Hank that's in here. Are you in here with us? Go ahead.
Which name do you prefer today? Henry or Hank?
I was gonna say, I was wondering if I could actually borrow some of your clothes. I know you usually keep them in here. Is this a drawer right here? You think I could borrow one of your shirts? Is that okay?
Josh said sometimes when the girls wear them, get a little bit of action.
Yeah, it's okay if we borrow some of these. Can we take this one right here?
It's awfully cold up here, Henry or Hank. Who wouldn't mind having one of these to wear right now?
It looks really warm.
Oh, it is really warm actually. Will you hold this? Thanks. All right. Thank you for helping me. Is it okay that I have this? Feel a little heavy right now. All right, I'm feeling a little bit better. I'm gonna go ahead and fold this up real nice. Put it back in your drawer for you. Just in case you want it. Like I said, it's chilly in here tonight. Stop it.
Yeah, okay. So,
All right, we're gonna go ahead and stop this. I didn't hear all that.
No, I didn't seem to get any responses
No,
to EVP.
not this time.
That's something that we can certainly try again later in the evening today as well. Maybe we can go out this way.
Mm-hmm.
So, I know we're going down the hallway right now. I'd say that, during the tour that we got earlier, one of the most uneasy feelings that we really have is, see that door right there that goes up to the attic. And when you go up there, you get this really uneasy feeling. See the light's still on from earlier. There we go.
Is the light still on?
Yep.
Good. I like the light.
Yeah. So for this one, we're probably gonna keep the light on just because there's a lot of things that we can trip over, and I don't want to be tripping over anything when I'm live in a video, if that makes any sense. It's a really narrow squeeze up here, as you can see. As in, you can hear me coming from a mile away. There you go. As you can see, this is the attic up here. Up here, there's you automatically get this really uneasy feeling because the air is a lot heavier. Whether it's because it's a confined space. As you can see, there have been sheetrock put up against and built up here. And as you see, they have built on top of the other roof too over here. And there's actually crawl spaces right there. There we go. And I might try to go in there at one point. It is sort of dangerous to crawl back there. Oh, what was that?
I can shine more in there if you want.
Yeah.
So you can
It's
see.
sort of hard to crawl back there because there's a lot of debris from different things back there, but I might try to go back there a little bit later on. There's crawl spaces from two different sides here that lead further back into the attic. And that noise is me, by the way, stepping around with all that scraping going on. There we go. So that's something that we're going to try to look into eventually. But up here, it's like I said, there's a really uneasy feeling.
Yeah,
Everything, even right down to this, which is there's something built around it. There's a small assumption that maybe people were, maybe an individual was kept up here when they weren't cooperating correctly 100%, or as you can see up here, it's really an area where if the door is locked down there, this is the room you have to stay in.
Excuse me.
What is this?
You said it was like a boiler or something.
Oh,
Yeah, there was something up here and they actually built this around it. So
It's definitely quite decorative with the molding.
yeah. So we will try to go up here a little bit later. I'm probably going to film something a little bit different if I do go back in a crawl space. I'll probably lose connection completely if I go on there with my phone. But for now, we can probably go back downstairs.
do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
What does it matter for you?
I don't care.
I can go first. Right here.
Everyone go first here.
You're such a gentleman.
It's a really steep area because these stairs go straight down.
And the dude up here gets really angry, so you gotta be careful. This one step. Super risky.
There we go. as you can see, that's the stairs there that led straight up there. They're actually pretty small. So, there we go. I'm going to shine it right on you. Over here. Yeah, it's weird. You step all this way and you feel like a sort of a gust of like warm. I think.
You want on your phone or mine?
Were all those doors knocked over?
We can try your phone if you want to. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
I don't know if I took a picture near you.
I thought you did.
Let's try first. I know, I heard it. Should we try the Xbox, the X10, the Spirit Box?
The Xbox.
The Xbox thing? You know.
Yeah.
Or do you want a EVP?
Sorry. Did someone's phone go off?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, good. That's fine.
I sound like a honk honk.
It was that right?
So we just heard footsteps out here, and that's why we were quiet. I'm probably recording on this too. And let me take a quick peek out here.
Like, this isn't wrong. Like, we're okay in here. But I feel afraid to leave the room.
You feel like that's what Susan told you.
Yeah. But, or maybe it's just how I feel.
And that was sort of how it was brought up too. Like this is a separate spot.
Yeah.
There's like some type of, there's just something there
Mm-hmm.
that separates a spot and that hallway.
Yeah. Should I start the EVP?
Yeah, and then after that, I think maybe it would be nice just to like stand here or go in that back room
Yeah.
just for a couple minutes and see if we hear like those footsteps that we've been hearing. It's like something's following us.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna
Along the
sit
way.
down here with her.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm gonna actually lean back over here if that works.
I got this.
Sorry about the light pointed your way.
This is Tiffany, Leanne, Justin, and Susie's room at Malvern Manor at 1:32 a.m. Susie, you've got a lot of people who've left you some nice coloring pages. How are you doing tonight? I really like your room. Are you still awake, Susie? Ending recording.
Here's something there.
That's me, sorry. Oops.
This is Tiffany, Leanne, Justin in Susie's room at Malvern Manor at 1:32 a.m.
This room is really cool.
Oh, my ears. Susie, you've got a lot of people who've left you some nice coloring pages. How are you doing tonight? I really like your room. Do you have a name? Are you the one that's making me feel all creeped out and trembly? Stopping recording.